Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is not Adi, my name is Abhay. However, Nick Navarre, aka Nails, found it very important to get this team report out as soon as possible. So you've been on the channel many times. However, I will just allow you to introduce yourself in case someone doesn't know.
Yeah, I'm Nils. I have been on the channel before. Had a team report a couple weeks ago from Fort Wayne with Dozo. And I'm back here after a top 16 performance at EUIC.
Amazing, yeah. So we can just jump right into it. Would you like to walk us through the team that you used at UIC?
Yeah, sure. I'll go into the process. So, um, when I was preparing for the tournament, I spent after seeing Fort Wayne, it just had a bunch of this balance stuff that did very well at it. Like I think all of the top four and like another one of the top eight were some flavors of Arc Shroom Balance or Chiyu Shroom or just general Firewater Grass stuff. And so I thought it was going to be all over UIC and I can counter this meta and it's going to be awesome and great. And then I a week for like the first week and like day or two after Fort Wayne, um, I kept trying and trying and trying to find a good counter to the team, and everything was falling flat. So at that point, I just said, okay, I'll run the team. It seems broken. Um, I threw this version of the team into my phone team builder on the first of my flights after leaving home on Tuesday, and most of the decisions on the original team just kind of carried over, and there were a couple of choices that were edited, but this like what you see is pretty much like 95% uh, what ended up getting loaded up. Or I mean, this is the final version, but yeah, it's what I put in on the plane. So yeah, I'm gonna talk a bit about the synergies of the team and what makes it so oppressive. So the team kind of just hacks the type chart, and it like really efficiently abuses Terra, and blocks the opponent from abusing Terra as well. Um, uh, that's specifically the Palafin Arcanine Amoonguss Fluttermane core. One of the ways that you frequently want to deal with Amoonguss is to Terragrass it. But having Arcanine that can Flare Blitz the grass type, and like also some other Mon. In my case, it was Dragonite. Paul had a Roaring Moon. There's just a bunch of good options to be able to punish that, along with them just being able to pollen buff it. But that's less so. Um, Another way that you can try to capitalize on the core is by Terra firing a Pokemon to get around Will-O-Wisp from Arcanine. And you can often like try to set up with that, especially with the safety goggles. So stuff like Terrafire Iron Hands with goggles, Fire type Chi-Yu, not even with Terra, just like with the like Nasty Plot safety goggles Chi-Yu. These are some of the stuff I was trying, but they just get murdered by the Palafin. Terra Water Annihilate is another example of a mon that you can force its Terra out, punch through a mouse hold next to it, and then just clear it out with Wave Crash. Um, and just the team's ability to withstand being targeted, I found really, really dangerous, and I felt like people would not be just ready to deal with it. People knew that it was good coming in, but just my play testing and spending a week trying to beat the team and failing. Like I consider myself a pretty good team builder, and so if I'm spending a week pretty much single-mindedly trying to just deal with a problem and I can't deal with a problem, that problem is probably going to be really hard for everyone else to solve too. And so, um, yeah, it just, um, I guess, like those two are basically or sorry, those three are the main, uh, core of the team. Firewater Grass historically, just based on type chart, has been weak to dragons. And Fluttermane is the best Pokemon on the format. Everyone knows it. It's just awesome. Uh, and it cleans up dragon types extremely effectively. So it's just uh, the very very core mon on four. After those four Pokemon, which you can mess with the sets, but it pretty much has to be those four for reasons uh, like Chiyu over Arcanine is like quite a bit worse for reasons I'm not going to cover. Um, you get a lot of freedom to do basically whatever else with the last two slots. In that there's a couple of boxes you have to tick, but there's a bunch of directions you can go in. So one, you need a dark type. This is weak to psychic attacks, and none of the Terras on the team really efficiently deal with psychic types. Um, so like Indeedee Armors can just roll over the team or the first four mons. Um, that's like the main reason you need a dark type, but it just there's a lot of dark types in the format anyway, so it's not a tall ask. After dark type, you need a Pokemon to handle the mirror. You just like it's basically optimal to always bring Firewater Grass, and then whether it's Excalibur, whether it's um, King Gambit, whether it's Terrafire Iron Hands, whether it's Terra Grass Iron Hands. There's a lot of different options and competing viewpoints for which Pokemon is the best fourth to run out your mode on in the mirror, but you basically need one of them because Palafin, Arcanine, and Amoonguss Fluttermane is it's like good, it's playable in the mirror, but it's not good enough. You just need more gas generally. Um, and then Mon 6, after you've spent a slot checking out the mirror, is your response to everything else in the meta. And again, that can vary. Tinglu is a pretty solid choice for this slot because it's absurdly physically and especially bulky. Um, uh, there's like a decent number of like potentially viable routes to target the team. Um, but what I found was that the team generally struggled the most with offensive pressure. It was really tough to bring a defensive team into the team and just try to like outbulk it um, because of what I will get into later. But basically the team is an offensive team disguised as like a defensive team, and so just uh, like it just has a lot of gas and a lot of firepower. So I wasn't worried about dealing with like other defensive teams. Um, and like the mirror, you have them on to check it out. So basically, I think you're supposed to check out offense with Mon 6. Um, I valued a ground immunity very highly. I think that a lot of versions of the teams can really struggle with offense, like specifically Garchomp with Tailwind is just problematic, and so like dealing with that is important. Um, so I went with Dragonite because it solves Flutter GU. It is a ground immunity. It just it's obscenely fat. It has more priority, which is good with the team, and just yeah, it can eat hits against offense. and like provide covering fire while Palafen's switching out, and make sure you don't fall far behind on tempo. Um, I can go into some of the other sets on the team now. Um, so King Gambit, I'll start with. Um, no, I'll start with Arcanine. Howl is just a way to like generate initiative. It has really good interactions, and honestly, I just built the team to see like to try it out for myself, and see if I could like fit some fun Howl abusers on the team. Um, it just gives you and the partner +1 attack, and it hits through your partner's protect. It is a good way to just very quickly snowball a game if your opponent disrespects it. Um, uh, an example of like, I guess probably the strongest calc that I can give in terms of justification for Howl is that um, 4 attack Arcanine with +1 Fire Blitz uh, almost always kills like relatively physically bulky units. Like the calc default immunity spread, which is 236 HP, 150 like 156 bold, uh, is a 15 and 16 roll to die to from full to +1 flow blitz. So it just gives you a great way to pressure that guy and power up your partner and just like turn 1 Howl Protect, turn 2 Flare Blitz, Kata Cleave is just very good. Um, the EV spread I thought was also phenomenal. I highly recommend it. It hits a 134 speed stat, which allows it to outspeed Dragonite, which is at 132, and also allows Palfin to squeeze in right behind it. So you can Howl and Terra Normal or Drain Punch a Terra Normal Dragonite if you're into that. It also just puts Palfin 1 stat point behind Arcanine, so if your Arcanine's Intimidate goes before theirs, you can be somewhat sure that you're going to outspeed, uh, and you can just Wave Crash their dog. Um, I wasn't the fastest Arcanine or the slowest Arcanine. Just I was kind of in the middle, and it's nice to be able to just use the Intimidates as like a ruler. Um, I'll talk about, I guess, the Palafin set next. Uh, like I explained the speed stat already. It's a bonus point in attack and near max HP just because it's like pretty efficient. Spread is basic. Um, the move set of, I mean, Wave Crash, Stat Punch, Protect are very standard. Mystic Water, very standard. Drain Punch was an idea that a couple people agreed with me on, or agreed on. Carson, Confer, and Anush both uh, made the recommendation. So credit to those guys. Drain Punch's goal is uh, it wants to. So Palafin takes a lot of damage over time. Like just it's a big threat, so they're focusing it. It wave crashes and picks up recoil. And having a healing move is very big. It allows it to stick around. Drain Punch has good synergy with Howl. And Drain Punch also is just um, good into like Qian Pao aggressive comps, which I think have they have at least a decent amount of game into this type of team. They're trying to smash it. I don't think they do it as effectively as they want to, but that is their goal, and Drain Punch helps in those matchups. And I thought that those matchups were going to be more common than Dondozo, so I was fine punting the Dondozo matchup. I It's not good. It is winnable, but you have to objectively just kind of outplay a lot, and that was something I was comfortable going in with. And I dodged Dondozo for 14 rounds, so we take those. Like that straight up, my game plan going into the tournament was to dodge Dondozo, and I did it. So like if you're worried about that matchup, uh, like as an aside, I don't even think Terra Grass really, like Terra Grass Haze really does that much. The Dondozo outspeeds you, so on the turn you Haze, it has to like it still gets a +2 attack off. Um, it's like basically you need like fake out plus Haze in order to safely get it off. If you're Terra Water Haze or that sorry, that's if you're Terra Water Haze. Then you need Fake Out to get it off safely. Um, if you're Terra Grass, they have like Geo Bundle on their team just to like mess up Terra Grass guys who are already like very standard counterplayed on Dozo. And like yeah, Terra Grass Terra Blast Dozo is just trying to farm balance. So it's I don't think the matchup gets improved that significantly. Haze is still a pretty decent move, um, even outside of the Dozo matchup. But Drain Punch, it won me 2 sets, so I would not have cut it this tournament. Moving forward, there's like a lot of other good moves. Um, Agati had sub that looked really cool. Um, like bulk up's okay. Flip turn is kind of mid. I thought it would be better at entering series 3, but it's just kind of mid. Um, and as for the Terra type, um, I thought I would miss Terra Water if I went grass. After playing the tournament, I think Terra Grass is really important in the mirror, just so you can get your damage off through Amogus. It's honestly less about not being spored and it's more about not being rage powdered. But like yeah, being able to help protect, and then just like Terra Grass Jet Punch a Flutter Main that wants to like finish you off perhaps. It's very good. Um, Amogus, not too much to say here. It's just bulky. I think the spread that I posted was that's like currently on this team is incorrect. It was 244 HP, but and just like an extra point defense. But yeah, it's just Terra Water is very standard. Um, it was a calm nature to live 2 Iron Bundle freeze dries. Um, which like Iron Bundle actually has a decent amount of play into this team. Like King Gambit's get into it, but that's about it. Or sorry, King Gambit and Fluttermane are good into it, and Dragonite's not actually that bad. But Palfin, Drain Punch Palfin is legitimately helpful. But it's like Drain Punch, Dead Punch, Double Taps Bundle, but they're often Terra Ghost, and missing that tempo can really mess you up. And just so yeah, being able to live 2 freeze dries is pretty good. And then the move set is extremely standard. I could have gone Clear Smog over Protect, but I felt like that was too big of a liability. Allowing your opponent to just focus down the Amogus is something they love doing, and really just allowing that is not great. So yeah, it's standard for a reason. It's very good. The King Gambit. Uh, this was my Mirror Wrecking Mon. Uh, there's other ways you can potentially do it, either with a different Pokemon. Baxcalibur also is very good in the mirror. Probably Clear Amulet more than other sets. What Baxcalibur does is it just leans into the like aggressively forcing Amoonguss to Terra, and uh, it also just like is a dragon type, so it's good into Firewater Grass. It's like Glade Rush does big damage. It is Will-O-Wisp immune, so being able to basically completely tune out Arcanine is just very powerful for a big physical attacker, and that's more or less it. like I was just really underwhelmed by Bax, and I also thought it would be more targeted. Um, like I thought that Baxcalibur would be the most common variant, so I just like, and I also thought King Gambit was the most threatening on paper. And after playing the tournament, I still feel that way. I think King Gambit it was excellent. Um, Swords Dance, Terror Dark, Auto Cleave just like kills everything, and Sucker Punch allows it to exist at faster than base 50 speed. So just the moveset is awesome. Lumberry is like pretty good. I I really enjoyed it. Luca Triggett was trying to say that Black Glasses was right and that he had it correct, but I don't really agree with him. At least without like extensively testing Black Glasses, like Lum was just legitimately excellent, being able to spread stance up on Amogus and kill it. Was just like game winning, and it doesn't force you to jump through hoops with silly Arcanine lines into Amogus. It just allows you to get there. And uh, yeah, King of was really good. The speed doesn't do anything. It's just to try to get my attacks off before their King Gambit low kicks my guy. So, um, like, yeah, bonus point attack, max HP, uh, rest and speed. Um, Dragonite, I mentioned it earlier, it's just a offense killer. Uh, Pretty straightforward. The speed, similar to the King Gambit, it's just random. Uh, it's max attack adamant, and then split the HP and speed however you want. It doesn't really matter. I was trying to creep uninvested Arcanines. I don't even remember if I really did that. Most of them had more than the 28 necessary EVs to tie that Dragonite, but uh, that was like kind of what I was trying to shoot for. So, yeah, don't hit all your shots. Um, Flutter main. So Flutter is weird on the team. The meta is extraordinarily hostile to it, as much as it can be. And so with Flutter on this team, you just kind of have to like pick your spots. Um, I decided to go with Moonblast Gleam Shadow Ball Protect because I think uh, basic answer is just Dazzling Gleam's a really good attack. Being able to like chip a Focus Sash, or more realistically, like uh, chip a Focus Sash from full to 1%, to put it in priority range. Also, dealing damage to the other slot is just very good. Um, like you don't really waste damage with it. So it's hitting two targets for 60 base power is just 120 base power, and that's its strongest move. Uh, Move Blast is also insane. Um, and Shadow Ball's like necessary on the set. Like the stab combo is unresisted, so just it's you always run it. Um, that's pretty much the team. Uh, what do you want to talk about next?
Um, there's a couple notable things actually that I can notice with this team. One is how anti-intimidate it is in a meta where we've been seeing a lot of Arcanine, obviously, and a lot of Gyarados. So with the Howl on the Arcanine, along with the King Gambit, and obviously Balafin is one of the most anti-Arcanine Pokemon in the meta in
Mm-hmm.
terms of just being able to OHKO it. I think that is pretty notable, especially when you're thinking of the mirror. Another question I just had about the process going into this team and your mindset is in the past, you've had this idea, at least, of calling the meta quite often, whether it was with your Sun team in Regulation B, at Fort Wayne with Stealth Rock, Dondozo, and Ting while in this case, it appears that you ended up going the meta a little bit more. So I kind of wanted to get your mindset on the idea of switching teams kind of per event while we've seen many other players opt for comfort, such as, say, Justin Karras with his Talent Test team.
Sure. So I think that like skill side, like you're going to consistently have the best matchups at a tournament if you are able to keep an open mind and play fluidly and just like accurately predict what the meta will be. Um, like paying attention to meta trends and doing like a bit of projection makes it and like I guess talking to people, um, not to counter them specifically, just to like keep tabs on what's happening on ladder, what's happening in tournaments. Like use all this to build a forecast for the meta, and just to get general vibes. Um, and so like yeah, player skill aside, um, the best way to play is to bring a team that's good into as that's like as good as possible into the expected meta. Um, the tricky part with that is one, forecasting the meta. Um, that's just like very easy to mess up, and if you get it wrong in an important way, you can perhaps like cut a move that you really needed. Uh, if I, for example, if like um, I picked a pretty risky route with just disrespecting Dondozo because I didn't know how to appropriately fit Dozo on the team. Gabriel Agati had clear smog on his Moongus, and he made it work. And so he got through uh, Dozo team in the semifinals, and I probably would have lost to it. So whether or not that is correct moving forward, I'm not sure. Uh, like it's just it's uh, hard to I wasn't that experienced on the team with respect to tech choices. So like as I mentioned, my process for the tournament was spending a week thinking very heavily about the team, um, but in the context of trying to counter it. And so uh, I was like passively experienced with the team, but not. I wasn't sure about tech choices. Um, to build on that a little bit, I also just found a couple people uh, who had a lot more practice on the team than me, to just like share ideas with. And try to work out all the kinks on the team. After I built it on Tuesday, I talked with my good friend and NPA teammate Yuri Bosqueto, who'd been playing Palance stuff a lot. And I found Simone Sanvito on the ladder, and we basically just collabed to figure out like a couple terra types, whether we wanted haze. They were concerned about the less slots on the team, and ended up locking in basically this. They made like a couple edits each, or uh, maybe a bit less, but generally, um, just yeah, we spent the last while before the tournament just polishing the team and making it as good as it can be. I didn't really answer the question about like calling a meta from the perspective of just making sure your play is good. That is probably that's like the other difficult part. If you call the meta correctly, is being able to play it. And with that, my answer is just being well rounded as a player, being able to make sure that you can play all sorts of team comps, so that if you make a meta read at the last minute that something's going to be very good, you're not starting from a blank slate, and you'll have something to work on and build from. It helps you with constructing a team, and just like it can also help with playing against teams. So um, even if you're planning to one trick a team, it still is helpful to have experience with other teams. And if you're planning to take a more freeform team selection strategy, like I do, a lot of top players are relatively willing to like adapt to the metagame. So it just yeah, it gives you a lot more flexibility, and you can use your testing results to pivot if your testing isn't working out. Um, that's yeah, okay. That's
And awesome. Before we move on to the game plans, the last thing that we haven't touched on with this team is that there's no ruin Pokemon. Looking at the top cut, at least, I noticed that this was one of the only two teams in top 16 that didn't use a ruin Pokemon. So, at least for you, did you have any struggles thinking like I need to have one of these Pokemon on the team, or were you just like these are the Pokemon I'm bringing?
they're very powerful. Uh, some more than others. I thought that Tinglu was overrated on the team comp. I think that it is a drag on the team in the mirror. I thought that people would be targeting the team via like abusing the Tinglu, which I kind of ended up whiffing on that call. Um, the Tinglu uh, like I thought that stuff like Psy Spam with like Swords Dance or Belly Drum Iron Hands, and like Indeedee Immersion, just punching through the Tinglu, and uh, I thought that that type of stuff um, would be significantly more common than it was. I actually don't know its like tournament share, but there wasn't much of it at the top tables. So in practice, like for the sake of like deciding the tournament, that wasn't really very impactful. So I lost that bit of equity on cutting Tinglu, but um, King Gambit was still it's just excellent in the mirror. Being able to boost your attack up with like Defiant Howl and Sword Stance, just uh, it's great. Wouldn't I wouldn't change it, at least at this point, without a like better reason. Yeah, guy was good. The Tinglu is like very good into offensive type teams. So I guess like I tended to go about even with like very heavy offense. I know that I beat one team and then lost to it again later. That uh, a couple of Italian players had that was just like King Gambit, Chien-Pao, Terror, normal Dragonite, and Drain Punch Polyphone was awesome there. Tinglu also would have been very good into like the physical spam teams that are like basically Chien-Pao Dragonite type stuff. But like King Gambit's good too because it's a normal resist. So it's just they don't basically as for the special tanking, AV Dragonite does that more effectively in my opinion. So it's just um like they King Gambit and Dragonite add up to Tinglu in the aggregate, but they don't. You get the strengths at different times, um, which just um, it adds up to a similar product. But I wanted to dodge Tinglu targeting, which didn't really benefit me that much that I could tell at
Yeah,
least.
yeah, absolutely. And just with the overall typing with the team, it just seems like you have a little bit more flexibility, especially with, say, the King Gambit over the Ting Lu, in terms of defensive switching and that. And on the note of flexibility, we could go into your common game plans, at least into the meta.
Sure. So the uh like again, it's a relatively flexible team. You can mix and match modes how you will, but the Palfin Arcanine Amogus +1 game plan is just generally very good. I, I mean, as I've been raving about, I think the team is pretty broken, and it just you need to be using it or countering it. It's very very good. Um, it also okay that saying that you need to use it or counter it isn't entirely accurate. It's not like dominant into anything else, or okay, it does have some dominant matchups, but it's defined mostly by um like how like adequate it is into everything. So uh like Palafin, Arc, Shroom, Flutter is just going to be fine into nearly everything you can throw at it. So it's just like really basic, and you bring it, and then you load up like a 15 turn game, and you just pivot your guys around. You keep everything alive. You go for howl wave crashes when available. You just play fire water grass Pokemon, um, and it's good. Uh, for and that mode can carry you through like probably half your games. Um, Probably not half your sets, but like being brought every game. But the last two mons on the team, like I mentioned, they are put on there for specific duties, um, and you want them to be good in those duties, and it's less important that you cover everything else because the start of the team is so just reliable. You like there are very few teams in VGC that are just allowed to have two luxury slots. Um, but uh, like Fluttermane's roll compression and just overall power is absurd. So um, it lets the team get away with murder basically. Um, I yeah, as I mentioned, Dragonite's there for hard offense. Try and uh, get basically just try and have a quick terrible all head. Um, it uh, it doesn't take much damage from anything because it's really fat and it deals a lot of damage. Um, and yeah, King Gambit was mostly for the mirror, though it's quite good in some other matchups. Um, it just comes down to getting it set up and like in a position to carry. Yeah, like
Yeah,
game plans that deviate from that are just not very um like you the mixing and matching of leads, like you can very much lead Arcanine plus King Gambit or Dragonite and just click Howl like Terra Blast +1 Terra Blast is very good. But yeah, um like there's nothing that's super like generally applicable and also powerful enough to stand out from anything else. It's just like there's a lot of good mixing and matching. Uh, Another good like turn one play is switching Palafin out next to King Gambit and going for Swords Dance, and they want to punish the Palafin for switching out, but they also want to punish the King Gambit for King Swords Dance, and um, you can like mix it up with protects, and it's just difficult to deal with. And so like that type of stuff is just uh, you figure out a game plan and make it work.
awesome. And on the note of those game plans, we can start talking about your tournament run just to talk about how you applied them.
Sure. So I don't really want to go too in depth into everything, uh, just for length reasons, and I don't remember the details too cleanly. Um, like round one was like Sunny Daytail and Murkrow stuff, and Dragonite went crazy against it because that's what it wants to do. Round two was like offensive stuff with uh, like Iron Jugulus, Goldingo, Iron Bundle, Tusk, Iron Hands, and Dragon Knight went crazy in that matchup too. And that was like honestly most of Dragon Knight's tournament. But having insurance against just weird offensive teams, it was like worth the price of admission for Dragon Knight. He carried in two matchups where the base Palafin mode might have struggled at least a decent amount. So like he'd already done his job, and he was good, not great after that portion, but was incredible for the first two rounds. Um, Round three was a mirror where we both played pretty well. And I remember it being decided, at least in part, though I thought my position was good. But my Flutter main one shot a hero form Palafin just from full with Terra Fairy, Booster Energy, Moonblast. He was he cut a lot of HP for speed, and it was still almost a max roll. Um, so that was just kind of a meme in game three. But yeah, just a mirror where we both played Arc, Shroom, Finn, uh, like all three games. Oh no, he dropped Arcanine in game three. But yeah, just good. He was also Lump Swords King Gambit, so uh, good set. Round four was the offensive game that I mentioned, uh, where Drain Punch Chien-Pao, or sorry, Drain Punch Palfin beat Chien-Pao. Round six was a mirror against Baxcalibur, where I didn't fully appreciate how good Baxcalibur was, and I didn't fully appreciate how my opponent was playing it. So I lost in three games. They went with the same mode all three games in the same order. It was Palafin, Fluttermane, Baxcalibur, Amoonguss, and yeah, I just didn't adapt to them cutting up kind fast enough, and so I lost. Um, and like Palafin, Fluttermane lead is quite punishable, but I just didn't do it. So um, round six was another functional mirror. When I say mirror, I don't mean hard 6-mon mirror, all same moves. I just mean Palafin, Arc, Shroom, Flutter plus two. It's the same comp, and at least from the perspective of the mirror, you generally want to bring Firewater Grass, and then whichever mon for you tuck for the mirror. So it's uh, the games really play out. Uh, Actually, the games don't play out similarly, but like the mons that are brought are similar, and the more important effects, rather than the back mons that aren't going to show up, are what choices you made on your move sets. Um, but yeah, anyways, yeah, round six was another mirror. Uh, he brought Tinglu game one. It hit a fissure on my full health Amoonguss, and uh, so he won that game. And then he didn't bring Tinglu in games two and three, and I played pretty well to his position. He was, I think, Terrifier, Clear Amulet, Iron Hands with Swords Dance, and so I was able to spore through it, and just generally had a good time. Round seven was another mirror, this time with Corviknight and Tinglu. Um, Game one, they brought Corviknight Tinglu, and that was a bad idea because Tinglu is not good in the mirror, and Corviknight, it was Lumberry Corviknight, but I still just like Willow Wisped it twice, and they had a bad time. Game two, they remembered to bring their Arcanine, but they still brought Corviknight, and so this was the set where they got a lot of crits, but they didn't get enough crits. So just Corviknight's not very good, and I was able to burn it and then just spam Drain Punch a lot, and they didn't have too much that they could do. Um, Round eight, you're gonna be shocked. This was another mirror. They had Arkstrom, Palafin. Uh, oh, this person actually didn't have Fluttermane. Arkstrom, Palafin, Cheems, Dragonite, and Iron Hands. And they played it quite aggressively. Like they brought Iron Hands, Dragonite, uh, Chien Pao all three games. No, sorry, not Chien Pao, game three, but they they just were trying to do offensive stuff. I think they were Assault Vest, Iron Hands, but I just don't remember off the top of my head. Um, and they, uh, I really don't remember what happened in the set, but they, and it's weird to look at their team and just they didn't bring Archer Palfin in all three games, but, or Arc was brought one game, but yeah, no Palfins, but, um, yeah, I don't remember how I won. Like, this is, it was my like third or fourth Archer and Palfin in a row. Fifth and sixth rounds. So yeah, they just kind of bleed together. Round nine. Just flipping through my notes. This is gonna be crazy. It was Arcanine, Amoonguss, Palafin, Fluttermane, Excalibur, Tinglu. Uh, that was Cal Living House, and we played a really good set. That I managed to uh, sneak away with. King Gambit was very good in the mirror, um, as it was all day. Um, like that was the most dominant factor. Is just King Gambit was like excellent in the mirror, and so uh, it just kind of carried me in all those balance mirrors. Um,
Real quick before we move to, I guess, like the day two part of your run,
yeah,
considering that you played a lot of mirrors throughout the day, or just played a lot of these fire, water, grass cores all throughout day one,
yeah.
was there a certain point where you were less so playing the matchup and more so playing the player in terms of just trying to figure
Um,
out their tendencies?
sure. So, like a little bit, yes. Analyzing the differences in the teams. Like they have the same Pokemon, but like everyone has different sets, and so that changes interactions, and you have to just like in open team sheet, you just have to continually like, or you have to be just really cognizant of those things and be ready to adapt based on new information. Um, and you have to scout speed stats. You have to like accommodate different terra types. You have to and that's just like at the start of game one. You definitely do want to adapt to how they're playing it. They could just choose a different route though, so you don't want to over adapt. Like maybe they could drop Flutter game one and then bring Flutter game two, so you don't want to just assume that they're going to hard running back their game plan. But generally, like uh, yeah, playing the player is important as well as playing the game. Uh, you can definitely agree with that.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can move to day two, where
Sure.
did you
So,
play more
oh, and
mirrors?
for recap, I finished 8-1. Like I said, I went 5-1 in mirrors. Um, I could salt claim that I got icicle crash flinched in the loss, but I also got outplayed in game three after the game two. Like my Mungus got flinched and missed out on a Pollen Puff on my King Gambit against Baxcalibur, which it was unfortunate. Um, but I can't get too upset because the game happens and the rest of my sets went uh, like uh, in my either in my way or not in my way enough for me to win the rest of them. So like Pokemon happens. And 8-1 is an excellent score for day one. But yeah, round 10. Um, I round 10 is the one that I really want back from this tournament. It was Jimbo, Dragapult, Iron Hands, Scissor, Gyarados, Garchomp, and it's like six physical attackers. I've got and just I was really really aggressively supposed to bring Dragonite, and I didn't bring it to either game, and I got very punished for it. And like I was spooked by the Chien-Pao, I was spooked by um the Scizor, I guess, and the Dragapult maybe. But it it had to come to the games, and so uh like there's probably a decent case that this is why I like didn't get to progress further in the tournament than I did. But uh, yeah, I got pretty rolled because I didn't have Dragonite. Just in two games, like I tried to pal them through game one and got it to the type of position where I had to hit reads like 3 or 4 turns in a row, and I got the first couple, but not the third. And those games are just very difficult to win. So, um, uh, yeah, I got rolled. Terragrass Iron Hands was a problem for the team, which is honestly just even more evidence that I needed Dragonite to be able to Terra Blast it, or like pin it with Moonblast plus Terra Blast, that type of thing. So like that was a shame, but Epton also played well, so like props to them. Round 11, I queued into Aaron Trailer, who was also trying to counter Palafin stuff. I don't know if it's fair to describe it just as a straight counter, but it was Chew, Flutter, Bundle, Palafin, Amoonguss, Pelipper. He was basically just going special spam and trying to blow up, I mean, everything. So, um, and he feels like this was a set that he let get away, which I kind of agree with. I stole game one off of um, getting a Swords Dance with King Gambit in a position where he had um, a like +2 Chiyu on the board, um, and he like Aaron, like it was Chiyu bundle against Dragonite King Gambit, and I like let Dragonite go down and Swords Dance King Gambit as D Knight got freeze dried, dark pulsed, and I was able to jet punch, sucker punch my way through the rest of his team. Uh, because +2 sucker punch and jet punch are just really really strong. Um, Round 12, I queued into my friend Raghav Malavia, who was running like Garganackle, Tinglu, Amoonguss, Gyarados. There was also a Chiyu Fluttermane, but the first four really describe how the team functions. It's just like very grindy defensive stuff, and I was able to just spam Howl basically. Like in game one, I clicked Howl on the first 3 turns of the game with like Arcanine King Gambit, and it just like he didn't have fast enough counterplay. Like turn one, game one, I remember. I think it was yeah Garganackle Shroom, uh, and I clicked Howl Protect as he Spore Salt cured my King Gambit, and then Howl Terradark Kowtow Cleave pushed a bunch of damage into something I don't even remember. It was just really difficult for him to deal with the pressure, and that's just kind of how that set went. Um, he didn't have enough initiative to deal with me. Round 13 was a run back of the round 4 set, which was the offensive team that Drain Punch carried against. This was David Kerr. Um, I don't remember if I played it worse than I did in round 4, or if David played it better than Luca Lucignoli had. But I lost this one, and So at 10-2, my tournament run ended. But I mean, that's okay. It's just, it happens. And David's also a very good player, so like, no shade. Just is what it is. Um, this was on the side stream, but I don't remember too much about the battle. Just I'm pretty sure I won game one and lost games two and three. Um, he brought in the games that he won. He brought Chimpao, Dragonite, Gyarados, Fluttermane, and I couldn't completely crack the code on how to beat that. And round 14, I played Alfredo Chen Gonzalez in a set that turned out to be extremely impactful for uh, both of us, honestly. Um, Actually, no. Okay, so at the time, Alfredo had just insane resistance, and we felt like it was pretty likely that he would cut if he took the win. As for me, the implications weren't as clear, but with the power of hindsight, if I had really bad resistance on day two, um, with I ended up I'll talk about that stuff after, but yeah, he had Chew, Fluttermane, Murkrow, Great Tusk, Arcanine, and Iron Bundle, inspired by Jody Azraeli's team. That's like Sunny Day Murkrow, with double fire types, which is like kind of heat, uh, pun not intended, which I'm disappointed that I didn't intend that, but anyways, yeah. Just a lot of aggression. Um, he did not click Talon once in the set. He just like clicked Sunny Day and then started spamming foul play, and it's just a lot of damage. Um, I ended up just getting completely dumpstered game one because probably inexperience on the team mostly. Game two, I snuck through. I remember Drain Punch Palafin on an Iron Bundle being very clutch. Um, and he like locked into Rock Slide, didn't get a flinch on the Drain Punch, and so I was able to um, like just clean up an endgame against Iron Bundle, Great Tusk, um, just by spamming Jack Punch. And game three, um, I don't remember quite how it went down, but I I won the set. So uh, yeah, the stakes on the match were uh, just with hindsight very high. um, I ended up finishing 16th of the tournament. If I had lost this set, I would have finished 34th, which would have been lots of 70 championship points, $750 in prize money, uh, which is just like $0 to 750 for uh, 34th to 16th. Um, and I also would have lost 70 championship points and lost the travel award to North America, which was an extra $1,000. So that was uh, a $1,750 money match basically. That heading in I didn't think would be terribly impactful. So it was a really close set, and I felt very fortunate to get out of it. Um, so I guess we take those. Um, but yeah, just a I don't know, like generally like pretty stressful tour. I thought it was very funny that after playing just like aggressively spamming mirrors in day one, I played no mirrors in day two. There most certainly were mirrors in the field. It was what I was trying to hit it. But there were also a bunch of the Lexar team, the Terragrass Dozo, that I dodged. Or there were like two copies of it at the top tables. And like just there were a lot of opportunities to queue into it, and so I just kind of hit middle tier matchups. Uh, but yeah, it was just a funny tournament in terms of teams that I played against.
You're also pretty lucky to dodge the Surf Dozo guy. That probably would have been scary.
That one is less spooky because it's Terra Water, right?
It's Terra
Um,
Water Life Orb.
yeah, no, I can just spore that, right?
Not if they crit you, like he crit Aaron saying.
That's a skill issue from my boy Cyberton. He needs to get good. That's my official stance on this. Um, like, yeah, my official take is just that's tough, buddy.
Yeah,
Um,
awesome.
yeah,
I guess with that, do you have just any thoughts looking back on the tournament in terms of any changes you could make, or yeah, what do
yeah.
you have?
So the one change I would want to make in retrospect was Terragrass and Palafin. Um, Despite uh like having wrecked the mirror, um, like margins are margins in the mirror, and Terragrass helps out a lot in the mirror, which was the opposite of what I had assumed before the tournament. But being able to safely put like wave crashes and jet punches where they need to be, it's like not a, yeah. I mentioned this earlier, but it's not about dodging spore; it's about dodging rage powder, and just ensuring your Palafin can kill them before they kill you. Um, Aside from that, Arcanine was completely correct. Amoonguss, moving forward, might want to move off of Terra Water. I think it's like oversaturated. It's like a very good Terra on it, but people can start targeting Terra Water Amoonguss. So just figuring out something else to do with that. Like it still very much wants a defensive Terra type. Just water might not be the best choice. Um, I don't know which one is, but like probably experiment with stuff. There was like some electric running around, I think. Uh, which the only point is to be a neutral Terra type, but and like yeah, that's just all you need. Um,
Some might argue that it has no weaknesses.
uh, because of the Terra, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, yeah. No, it's uh, there's like a lot you can do with it. Actually, that's not even true. There's not that much you can do with it. But you just don't want like water's fine. Just the freeze dry thing is annoying. So um,
I guess
it's
one other thing to bring up with using a team like this across 14 rounds is just stamina. So can you touch on at least just how are you able to maintain just your mentality throughout?
just staying in the zone is like something I'm like pretty okay at. Like I did the 8 hour stream on for the global challenge. It's just I don't know. I play games a lot. Like um and just I trust myself in game and just like I don't know, like it's like kind of a feedback loop, I guess, where like playing wall just like motivates me to do. I don't know. I really don't know. That's just not something I tend to struggle with. So um,
Okay. Well, if you don't have anything else to say, then we can show the rental code on screen. And do you have any shout outs you want to give?
yeah, sure. So shout outs to Tab Nation. Y'all are the best. This was an awesome weekend, and I'm glad to get to share it with y'all. Shout outs to Amberfly Gaming. I like the just thanks for the support and the kind words from everyone. Um, it's a great community, and you can't uh, like just say enough nice things about them. Um, Shout outs to Sanvi and Yuri for working on the team from like Tuesday to Thursday just to like um, like talk me out of bad changes for the team. I don't think there were too many of those, but like I think I considered some stuff that maybe would have gone worse, or just like uh, even just like talking through the refinement process was helpful and like reassuring because, like as I said, they'd been playing Palance for weeks, and I had 2 days on the team. So just seeing them being willing to drop what they were doing and run my version was like extremely validating in the moment. Like uh, I didn't. It's not like after the fact I need to be told, "Oh, your team was cool." But in the moment, I wasn't sure if it was actually that strong. So just yeah, it felt very reassuring to see experienced players on the archetype just say, yeah, this is good. Let's run it. Um, I mean, I'm probably forgetting people, but like, just shout out to everyone else that I like had a good time with this weekend. The internets are like awesome, and getting to see global friends is great, and just yeah, they're cool tournaments. Um,
Awesome.
had a great
Um,
weekend.
yeah. So outside of these events, where can people find you online?
Sure. My Twitter is going to be in the description. It's at NailsWU. If you want to sign up for coaching, I offer coaching at $40 an hour. You can DM me on Twitter or Discord, and we can explore how we can best set up like a plan to help you maximize your gameplay. Um, like I'm pretty flexible with scheduling, and just I uh, like do I don't know, I like try to work personally with everybody and just uh, like help them get their best results. One player at the tournament, um, Sean Martins. I'm going to be so sad if I mess that up. Um, I'm went 7-2 and said that uh, we've only had 2 sessions so far, but he just like gave me glowing feedback when I asked for how my coaching was doing. So and said that the advice that I'd given him for like just perspective on the game and like ability like playmaking how do you cut the shit out um blah, blah, blah. Basically he just said that he said that it was really helpful and gave me a lot more credit than I felt that I would was warranted. So I guess I'm doing something right on the coaching. So yeah, if you're
Yeah.
into that, just hit me up and I try to be responsive about it. Um, that's pretty much everything. Anything
Okay.
more to ask?
Yeah. At this point, I think we can conclude the team report. Thanks, Nails, for bringing us all of your thoughts.
Yeah,
And yeah, hope you all have a good one.
yeah, it's a broken team. And hopefully I did a pretty good job at telling y'all why. I'm still gonna be trying to counter it. It's a doozy though. Peace.
Yep. See you.